Okay, well, yeah, we'll see how the connection goes tonight. And hello, I'm trying to get these adjusted so I can read without sitting here constantly doing this. Hello. Now that's too far. Y'all, my eyes are a little blurry, so I don't think the glasses are helping much tonight. I feel like I can't get right now. I'm just gonna have to look like a bobblehead. I can't. This is just gonna have to. You know what? If there was a way that I could do, you know, I did that thing, and I don't know if I explained this to y'all before. We're talking about the book club T-shirts. Um, the only way I know of to do it is to do it the same way I did it last time, which was to open up a group order through Custom Ink, because that's where I got the shirts done, or got the one shirt done to start with. Um, I will make a suggestion that if you are interested, seriously interested in getting a T-shirt, um, message me. Message me, maybe give me your email address or something like that, so that I can notify y'all when I open it back up. I was trying to think of a way to do it, because the way I did it last time by just posting a video, it didn't get shown to everybody. And yeah. So, or if y'all have thoughts of a better way for me to do that, my ears are open. I am willing to listen to any and all ideas about it. See, have y'all looking at my nose half the night. My air conditioner is going to be on and off as we do this. Oh, turn down the ball game. All right. So are we ready? Are we ready to get started? Okay. So, The Vampire King by Rowan Hart. This is what we picked to read this month. And yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. Oh, it's the Mississippi State and Kentucky game. And we are 14 minutes in the second half. The score is 3-0. So I mean, I haven't really been paying attention to it, but yeah. Yeah. It's not really one of those heart pounding ball games right now. Okay. So, when the story opens, Eloise is trying to find her best friend. Her best friend Deidre has gone missing. And Deidre is an investigative reporter. You know, they did like a little cut in for like that last 2 seconds that got put back on the clock. So I did get to see that field goal, and I sat there kind of like, did that just happen? So yeah, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna be honest. While I don't find the name Ambrose terrible, um, I could not imagine it being called out in moments of ecstasy. I couldn't. And I don't think there's a good way you could even make a nickname from that name. I'm the same way about the yeah. It's almost like whoever's playing them, that's who I'm rooting for. Um yeah, it was, but then when we meet him and we start getting to know him, you're like, you know what? I don't give a damn what his name is. Hello. But yeah, it was a little difficult. Even after that, I yeah, I don't know. The name just didn't do it for me. So, moving on. That's what my note was about, was the name and trying to imagine what it sounded like. All right, so then she goes, she kind of pilfers through Deidre's stuff. Um, how long? I don't think it said specifically in this book, but how long did it take y'all to come to the conclusion that Deidre was uh Cassar's mate? I guess that's how we're gonna say it. I did yes, I liked it because every time she would say something like negative about herself, he quickly corrected her. And I was like, oh yeah, that's yes. Yes, that's how we do things. So yeah. Did I finish my question about Deidre? So, and then of course, whenever Eloise goes, yeah, I think when it dawned on me was when Cassar and Ambrose are in his office talking, and at this point, he's already got her at a safe house. Um, his reaction to what Ambrose said, I was like, uh oh, yeah. I think that's when it was like light bulb, bells ringing, all that good stuff. But yeah, the greeting or the scene that Eloise was met with the first time she goes into Ambrose's office, and this is where she wants to talk to him about helping her, make a bargain with him. Malachi, yeah, all of them actually. Ambrose, Cassar, Lan, um, Ash, Malachi, all of them. Why choose? But I don't know if y'all noticed it, but yeah, in his little situation with oh God, what is her real name? Cassandra slash Eris. I don't know how to say that name, but yeah, that's gonna be a good story, and I really want to know what it was that Ambrose had her do that she ended up with a demon inside of her. I need that story. Yeah, I Lan was probably my favorite of the guys, and yeah, But you kind of, you kind of see where he's like the petulant child. The way he kind of like goes against Ambrose until Josephine threatens to bend him over her knee because he's not too old to get his bottom tanned or turned red, I think is what she said. Loved Josephine. Loved Josephine. I think he is too, and I think uh, Ash being in love with Cassandra. Um, yes, yes, most definitely. And I'm thinking that whatever happened to her, he was in love with her then, obviously. But if they're mates, did she know they were mates? Is she a witch? And that's how, she was doing some kind of spell for Ambrose. And it worked, but it kind of backfired because now she's got a demon living in her body. So, hey, I need more of that story. I need more of that story. And I want to know also what happened with Ambrose and Cassar's sire. He had a funky name. Sir something. It was spelled funny, and I could not get my mind to pronounce it. And now I bet you I can't even find it. But it was a weird name. Yeah, she is. In the warehouse, when she picks that body up, I mean, did she eat the whole thing? Did she just like drink from it? I'm curious, what did she do with it? I would probably never find that. Anyway, their sire had a really weird name, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it really said what happened to him. You kind of get the impression that they killed him. So I don't know. I don't know. And from the minute that Michael Garner came into the story, oh God, I gotta find my note because this had something to do with showering in hot lava. There it is. This guy makes me feel like I need a shower in hot lava to get the yuck off. And that was like the very first time he came into the story. Yeah, I didn't like him. And they end up, I'm wondering if he was testing that stuff that enhanced rapture. I wonder if he was testing it on Deidre or if he already knew what it would do. Yeah. Like they didn't really uh talking about Ambrose and Cassar Sire. It didn't really get into that. So it's almost like there are so many things in this book that you would call loose ends, but maybe that's intentional because she's going to give us more throughout the series, which I am indeed interested to read because the next book is actually Cassar and Deidre's book. And then I think the third book is Lands because the title of it is Vampire Savage, I think. I know. I was, that scene, where was it? And Josephine had already warned him, told him that she felt like she had done something wrong. And when she bumped into him and Malachi on the staircase, that was funny. And then whenever she made up her mind that she was going out, I was like, oh, that might not be such a good idea. And I was a little scared. And then whenever Lan agreed to go with her, I was like, oh, Jesus. Oh, this just keeps getting worse and worse. But I did like how he remarked, you talking about Ambrose being childish? Yes, yes. When she tried to flirt with Malachi, that was a little funny. And I'm kind of glad that Malachi didn't have to make a decision as to how he was going to react. Because it probably would have meant his death or something close to it. Um, where was I going? Oh, whenever Ambrose gets to the club, and he does make that remark about how Lan is standing there ignoring everybody around, even the women that are trying to get his attention. And it's like Lan is guarding her to make sure nobody messes with her. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He he yeah, he wanted to help her get her point across, but not to the point where she would actually end up in danger. Yeah. Although Lan's bike did not survive the night. Yeah, I didn't survive it at all. So I was like, ooh, ooh. I hope he didn't like that motorcycle. Okay, a little while back we were talking about how Ambrose always treated Eloise, and I just happened to be on a page, and this was I think after Michael had left that restaurant, and she pretty much jumped Ambrose, and she stopped him, and after a moment, of course, first he makes a comment about that coin. And at this point, I was like, what is up with this coin? But then she thanks him, and he says, do not thank me. You should never thank someone for the basic respect you deserve. It's moments like this. It's moments like this where you just really love him. But then there's also moments when you just want to like gib slap him. Because you're like, dude, you cannot be that out of touch with females, period, no matter what species they are. It just, yeah. And then on that, right under where he says that about the basic respect, he talks about how her gaze fills with pain. Who has hurt this beautiful woman? If she ever shares their names, I won't send my soldiers to deal with them. I'll do it myself and enjoy every moment of it. I love those moments too. My note says, oh, hell no, I'm going too. Because I think some characters become more endearing to you when you can personally connect with them on some level. And I think probably the majority of us have had those moments of self-doubt or self-loathing, and you just, one person can say something nice to you and it just changes your whole outlook. That is probably a sign that the connection is probably fixing to start acting up. And we're only 20 minutes in. So I'm just flipping through. I know I usually try to go in order, but I think we're just gonna have fun and go all over the place. I have a note here. Oh, this is where where Josephine walks in after Land makes some kind of comment. I'm trying to find the comment. Hang on a second. Um, I know. I wanted to hug her too. Oh, he's talking about when Land's talking about Eloise, and I think this. Yeah, this is obviously before he takes her out. She's an attractive warm blood, and she's a woman. This. Oh, he's talking about Deidre. And she never took Rapture before, like your pretty little blood donor insists. That's another angle she could play up. And then Ambrose's reaction to that. And before they can like tie up about it, Josephine comes in and like uses his full name. And when the full name comes out, that's it. That's it. There's nothing else you can do or say. There's nothing you can do. So after she gives him a very sound tongue lashing, my note says, okay, it's official. I love Josephine, and I'm highly intrigued by Lan. Okay. Also, when it gets to where Ambrose is talking about the Black Fang Barons, y'all may have noticed this as well, but that is also a book series by Rowan Hart. And I noticed it when I was picking the options, and it caught my eye, and I was like, well, maybe it'll pop back up and I can check it out later. And I didn't make the connection between that series and this series until this, where Ambrose is talking about them. So I was like, mayhap I should read this series anyway. So I'm going to have to, I might check that out. I can't make any promises because y'all know I'm all over the place, especially when it comes to reading. Yeah. Yeah, Josephine was not playing at all. But then Ambrose kind of explains, how and why he turned Josephine. And then the how and why of how Lan got turned. And then Josephine kind of also puts Ambrose in his place about Eloise. Even more reason to love her. And then even the way he talks to Josephine about Eloise, almost like he's bearing his soul to Eloise because he already knows without saying the words what Eloise is to him. And then they get to talking about, gotta find this chick's name. Kalina. And at this point, my note says, damn it, tell me the whole story. I'm trying to see because I know it says something. I think he kills her, doesn't he? You know, and I think that's kind of like talking about getting a little more backstory on the characters. I think right now she's given us just enough to help us understand their place in this story. But I don't think we're going to get full details. Like, we won't know everything about Cassar until his book. And we won't know everything about Lan until his book, and so on and so on and so on. It is frustrating. Very frustrating. And because even in this book, some of the things in Ambrose's past, when she brings it up, I want to know it right then. I want to know it right then. I want to know, what is the deal with the coin? You know, who is Kalina and what happened to her? All that stuff. So, yeah. And I can't remember. I want to say we eventually got, not the whole story, but, you know, Reader's Digest version of the story about Kalina. And I think he killed her. I can't remember. Yeah, we talked about this a while ago, about when she bumps into Ambrose and Malachi on the stairs. And she's, oh, excuse me, Your Majesty. That whole thing was funny. And then, bless her heart, she goes and talks to her plants. It was Ash that got him there, right? It's Ash that got him there. So, yeah. So, see, this is what I'm talking about. My note says this is a very bad idea. This is when she's getting ready to go to the club. She's taking pictures, sending them to Deidre. And then when Lan agrees to take her, this note says, and it just got worse. But y'all, okay, so when he gets her back to his house, in his office, from the club, that was a very good scene. And I'm trying to be careful about what I say so I don't get turned off. Yeah, she wouldn't listen. She wouldn't listen. And to to hear her tell it, she doesn't normally do these things. She doesn't normally what's the term I'm looking for? Buck the system, stand up to authority. You know, she's not the one to rock the boat. But it's like he's bringing that out of her, which are, if you stop and think about it, very queen-like attributes, I would think. And I have made a comment way back here. And I flipped right past it. There was a scene before they went to the restaurant, I think. And they were standing in the mirror, and he was just, you know, kind of standing just behind her. Yeah. And she's talking about how she had thought she would feel less than in his presence, but she felt the opposite. Yeah, she's putting herself out there a lot. Excuse me, y'all. And I had made a comment about how I'm picturing them standing in this mirror, and I was just thinking to myself, a king and his queen. But back to the scene in the office after the excursion to the club, um, when he literally picks her up, like he is, I'm picturing this like he is standing straight up with her like up here, her legs like there, and yeah, yeah. And my note says, now that was hot, especially when he picked her up like that. But at this point, we still have not had full on connection. We've not had full on connection yet. I think I'm not a fan of heights either. I think in this instance I might be too distracted to realize that there was, you know, yeah. All right, so we have the description going of Iris, and there again, that's a whole nother situation. We've already said that, you know, we don't get a lot of detail on the how or the why, how this situation came about, and I don't know, maybe Ash and Cassandra / Iris will be book 4 or 5, maybe. I don't know. I'm already plotting that book. And it's not even my story to tell. The 3-inch nails are an interesting accessory. She says they look like metal and are sharpened to wicking claws. Something tells me they're probably metal, or way harder than your average fingernail. She does seem to be very playful, though, Iris. She seems to be a very, very playful demon of chaos. Oh, here's my note. The whole reaction of when I was talking earlier about Cassar's reaction to something that Ambrose said about, not really necessarily about her, but yeah. Because Cassar's making a comment about how the office reeks, and yeah, she's a little too playful. And Cassar kind of looks away. I'm trying to find... Oh, here it is. When Ambrose asks him, should I have Malachi take over? And then, you know, the snarl and the dark look. Pure fury and defiance. My note was, uh-oh. Deidre is Cassar's mate. I wonder if Deidre knows that yet. I guess we'll find out in their book. And here's something else that I think I found dude's name. Yes. Their sire's name. And I don't know why I didn't think to ask Usual or Alexa how to pronounce this. Mhichil. But it says here that their sire was a trueborn, descended from the first children of the night. And little does anyone know that this history and the fallout of our kind becoming forsworn are the reasons why humans are able to be turned into weaker children of the night. What happened? I need to know what happened. I need to know why they became forsworn. I feel like and I hope that we'll get more explanation as the books come. And then it says that Cassar's ingesting Rapture to save Deidre. So by ingesting, is he drawing it out of her system? Or is he... How would it be helping her if he was taking it directly like from a vial? He's got to be drawing it directly from her. Like maybe he keeps drinking from her so that her body will make new blood faster. You know, I don't know, because it didn't really explain why he changed the subject when she brought that up. I assume possibly out of fear, because he does say that even though she carries the gene to survive, how did he word it? Because it was something in the wording. You're in the shower, right? I think I'm getting closer. Getting closer. Okay. Well, maybe, and I don't think he even said it to her. It was something about the gene, but even though she could be turned, it didn't necessarily mean she would survive the turn. It was something like that. So I think that's why he kind of tried to change the subject, because he didn't... I think he's just scared of the topic. He was scared of it. And so, obviously, whatever Michael's been doing to the original version of Rapture, I think we're back talking about Cassar ingesting the Rapture. I think it says at one point he stopped almost like cold turkey when he realized he was using it so much. And now he's doing something with it to try to save Deidre's life. which is why I'm thinking he must be drinking from her, trying to pull it out of her system. You know, I'm like, why do you not have a doctor? I don't know. All right. So whatever Michael and his cohorts have been doing to Rapture makes them stronger, faster, more like a vampire, but apparently, or maybe, it only lasts so long. And I feel sorry for that witch that made that amulet for him, because just because we didn't discuss it anymore in this book doesn't mean that she won't come into play somewhere else down the road. No, it wasn't actually Rapture. They mixed something with it because they were talking about how Rapture is blue, but Eloise noticed that there was like a green tint to it. She said something about undercut with a green something. Okay, when you say she is dead, do we mean she will eventually be? You know, I'm thinking that too because he knows everybody. Especially if this is someone who is in the barrows. And even if they're not in the barrows, if they are close, you know, if they're, what they call it, topside? Old Gate? One of those. Even if they're there, he probably still knows the location of several supernaturals that are not staying in the barrows. So I was a little surprised that Ambrose actually decided to let Michael continue inhaling. But we don't yet know. We don't yet know who is truly behind the whole thing with Rapture. I do agree whoever the witch was had to be pretty powerful. And obviously that was something Ambrose realized too. But yeah. So I feel like as much as we all would have liked to have probably seen the end of Michael, it was probably smarter to leave him alive, because that way they can get more information from him. And that's pretty much what Ambrose said. You know, you're going to answer our questions when we come to ask them. Okay. Did y'all read the epilogue? It was the whole it's here in the book too. I know some of y'all probably read this in your Kindle apps or wherever you could. I got it here somewhere. Grab the exclusive epilogue of Vampire King here. Did anybody else read it? I read it. Because I just had to know. Because I was a little upset that at the end of this book, he had not turned her. If you didn't, you know, that's okay. You can go back and read it if you want to, but it is about, it is the moment where he does turn her. I'm sorry if I ruined it for you. And this is also Vampire Enforcer featuring Cassar and Deidre. It was, I can't remember how long it was, but it kind of, when it starts, she is dressing. She's getting ready. And, you know, and right now I forget what she was even wearing. Anyway, she's getting dressed. And I can't remember if Josephine's with her or if Tara's with her. But anyway, then you know she goes out to find Ambrose, and he's like set up this platform in this big like ballroom of his home. And it's like, I want to say it's like candles everywhere, and there's like a black sheet over the platform. And, you know, he turns her. And then it's like, you know, no holds bar on the connection. So yeah, it was pretty good. You can read it for yourself. I mean, it was free. And I forget, I think I clicked on the link. And it was that whole process of, you know, I think it was Book Funnel maybe. Sent the email and then, you know, kind of the back and forth thing, but it was good. I enjoyed it. And I was very happy that he did it, that he turned her. So, and at the back of the book, and I know it's in the Kindle thing, the Kindle version as well. It lists her books that she's done so far. Matched with the Monster, which under that is Married to the Minotaur, and Hell of a Husband, which is a Kindle Vella, it says. Then we have the Nightshade vampires, Vampire King, Vampire Enforcer, and Vampire Savage. Now, while I have not seen anything that specifically says who this is about, because it says Savage, I'm pretty confident that's going to be Lan's book. And then we have, as Marie Robinson is how she wrote Black Fang Barons, which is YQ/Reverse Harem, with 3 books, Fawn, Fury, and Fate. And I'm guessing, but I'm thinking that it's probably going to be cliffhanger ending. So yeah, there's that. I don't know if we missed anything. We probably did. I feel like I probably missed bringing up some stuff. I probably did. I messed myself up, y'all, with this book, because once we decided this was what we were going to read, I downloaded it in Kindle so I could get a good screenshot of the cover. And I was like, well, you know what? I'll have my physical copy in a couple of days. I'm just going to go ahead and start reading it. It's not, yeah, it'll be all right. I ended up finishing it like in 2 days. I think I started on Sunday, and then I finished it after work that Monday. And I didn't get the book till Wednesday. So I was like, this is going to suck when I have to go back and do all of this tagging and making all of these notes. One thing I will say, reading it in Kindle, I didn't make nearly as many notes. So when I was going back through today, because I procrastinate about things, I made more notes than what I had in Kindle. So note to self, wait for the physical copy. So you're not fussing at yourself as you're having to do this. Let me see. I didn't pay attention to that. It does say. It does say that. And I remember seeing the cover in Kindle for it, but I don't, but you're saying it says August 2023. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Well, and maybe she had to move it back. And if that's not coming out till August of 2023, then that would mean the one in here that says spring of 2023 is probably going to get pushed out too. Oh, Lord. They will probably end up falling off of my radar. I'm being honest with y'all and myself. Unless I start paying attention to those little notifications I get in Kindle that says, continue the series you've already started. To which I'm like, why you got to call me out like that? So, like I said, I did enjoy this. I really did. Yeah, I liked it. Liked it a lot. And talking about Eloise, she is, yeah, I like female characters like that. She's kind of coming into her own. She's learning herself. And I think in one way, because Ambrose both challenged and supported her. So it put her in a place where she could build her own confidence. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's in the epilogue where Ambrose changes or turns Eloise. It's in the epilogue. There is a link in the Kindle version or the book that's in Kindle. I can only speak about Kindle. I don't know what other apps or things that some of y'all use. I don't know if everybody uses Kindle to do the digital copies, but there is a link in the Kindle version. And I forget exactly where that link takes you, but it's more like, I think it's one of those where you back and forth the book funnel doing a download like that. Okay. You should be able to get it. If you have it, if you get the book, at the very end, it'll say, grab the exclusive epilogue of Vampire King here, and it should be lit up if the link is still good. Like I said, I finished this like 2 weeks ago, so fingers crossed it's still good for you. All right, y'all. So we did book club a little early this month, and which means the options, I don't have a calendar because all my stuff is currently occupied. I'm going to say the last weekend of October, I will put up the options for November. So keep an eye out for that. And of course, I'll set the date for November's book club and all that good stuff. As far as the t-shirts go, if enough of you contact me seriously wanting a t-shirt, I will open the group order up again. And then that way I can keep in touch with all of you instead of trying to hope and pray that the video makes it to your FYP. So, yeah, there's that. So, we will meet again soon. I have had fun tonight. I know I've been probably a little more out of it than usual. A lot of life changes going on, so I'm trying to adjust some things. But I'm good. I'm good. Everything's great. Y'all have a wonderful night, and I will see y'all next time.